What's happening, beautiful people of the YouTubes? Your boy Ed from TechSource. Welcome to Setup Wars episode 242. We have a jam-packed episode planned for you guys, so sit back and relax because it's time for Setup Wars. The IQ Elite Capolix is Corsair's newest AIO to hit the market, with a new high-performance pump head that houses 33 ultra-bright Capolix RGB LEDs to go along with its RGB fans. The Elite Capolix cooler also comes with an included IQ Commander core to control the fan speed and RGB lighting for the included ML fans and additional Corsair RGB fans up to a total of 6. The all-in-one cooler comes in either 240, 280, or 360mm variants, and when you add powerful, low-noise cooling to the mix, your system will look great and will run even better. To learn more, click the link below. Kicking off the episode is Gokon and his insane retro synthwave attic gaming room setup. Just look at that presentation. Damn, I'm already hyped. Gokon is an office clerk from Germany that built this amazing oasis just for gaming. We got a sick corner desk layout made out of 2 custom-made wooden countertops and a few Alex drawers for additional storage and support. It looks like he was even able to fit in a tiny shelf in between the drawers. Pretty cool use of space, actually. Let's talk about those LED strips. First off, I love that it properly diffused the lights. I'm always happy to see that. I'm not really sure how he installed those LED diffusers on the bottom edge of the desk like that, but it turned out really good. He even added another strip going across the wall covered with a bunch of those 3D art panels. I mean, the setup just looks amazing. He's rocking triple 27-inch monitors that are mounted to the desk using 2 separate mounts, and it looks like he even mounted his boom arm on one of the monitor arms for a cleaner look. Nicely done. Gokon was definitely going for a minimalistic wireless look with the Logitech G915 TKL keyboard and the Glide 38 mouse. He definitely kept the surface of the desk very clean and minimal, which I guess isn't that hard to do considering how much countertop space he has. But with that said, he did a great job keeping everything evenly spaced out. For audio, he's rocking a pair of those big boy Wavemaster Pro speakers and the DT1990 Pros, which are hooked up to his FIO K5 DAC and amp. Cables are managed perfectly with the help of these super thin and long raceways that go across the desk and into a Signum rack from the second desk. Now, the main setup is powered by a sick custom PC featuring the Ryzen 5 5600X and the RTX 3080 Founders Edition, while the secondary workstation setup is powered by his 2009 MacBook. Right across his PC gaming setup is the entertainment area, where he watches videos and games on his PlayStation 5, and since he doesn't have a couch, he just pulls his chair from the setup whenever he needs to use it, which actually frees up a lot of space in the attic. Such an epic gaming setup you built in your attic, and you already know I'm in love with those colors. Amazing job, and thank you for sharing this with us. Keeping the momentum going is Joe, who's a laboratory planner and a CAD drafter from New York. He built the setup for gaming and watching YouTube videos. We got dual 27-inch monitors mounted to the desk with a 50-inch up top as an overhead. At first I thought he was using a carbon countertop from IKEA, but it's actually a custom butcher block top with the addition of a few Gurton adjustable legs and the gray Alex drawers. It's looking really good. For peripherals, he's rocking the Corsair K65 Lux paired with the G502 mouse with the cables going across the desk. It doesn't look like he has a lot of stuff on the desk, other than some speakers and his Xbox Elite Series 2 controller. So aside from the speakers, he also uses the Astro A40 headset while gaming. I love the boom arm placement for the Quadcast microphone. Instead of mounting it to the monitor arm like you normally see, he actually created his very own dedicated mounting point on the wall. Nicely done. Excellent work with the cable management behind the monitor and underneath the desk, with that long black raceway to hide the cables. I couldn't be more proud. But can we please look at the custom PC? Jesus, that is a thing of beauty. Not only am I really impressed that you're able to do a full loop in the H700, but those bends are sexy. Damn, we got the 8700K paired with the ROG Strix 2080. Such a sick custom water-cooled PC to complement a sick gaming setup. Thank you, Joe, for entering. Coming in at number 3, all the way from the UK, is Mitchell, who's a transport controller and his white on black Avengers inspired setup. I gotta say, one of the reasons why I love hosting the show is the fact that I get to see so many awesome setups from people across the world, and I even learn about new occupations that I didn't know existed, like a transport controller, for example. Pretty cool. So Mitchell built this setup for gaming, chilling out, and getting away from his girlfriend. Can we please find out her IG and send this video to her, please? He went with a double stacked monitor layout with a 35-inch on the bottom and a 28-inch 4K display up top for multitasking. Pretty similar to mine, actually. Personally, I don't like how that one leg of the ultralight is sticking out like that. I feel like it would have looked a lot cleaner if you mounted it to the desk or the wall. I do like how you drilled into the desk to route the cable for the keyboard, mouse, and mouse pad. Moving on to audio, we got the Logitech G560 speakers and 2 sets of headphones, the Sony M4s and the ROG headset for gaming. No complaints when it comes to cable management. The Signum seems to be doing all the work underneath the desk. Nicely done. And finally, we got the custom PC, packing the 8700K and the GTX 1080 Ti. I could definitely use some cable extensions, but overall, not a bad looking system and setup. Thank you, Mitchell, for entering. Cybersecurity by day, YouTuber and photographer by night. This is Sam's quad display setup that took him 2 years to complete. He built a setup for gaming, video, and photo editing with a 98-inch Saljam countertop from IKEA and not 2, but 4 Alex drawers for that extra storage. He went with 2 gray drawers on the outer edges for a little bit of contrast that also blends in nicely with his dark wall. He's got triple 24-inch monitors hooked up against the desk with a 55-inch 4K smart TV up top. I kind of dig those black and blue acoustic foams in between the top TV and the bottom displays. They do add a bit of decoration and soundproofing without being too obtrusive. I also gotta appreciate the symmetry and the organization of this setup. Every piece of gear is nicely spaced out and placed in the perfect position. Starting off with the peripherals, we got the Corsair K95 Platinum and the G502 combo. It does look like the mouse might need a bit more cable slack if I'm being honest. Moving on to audio, he's using a set of teeny weeny creative speakers that he hardly uses and the AKG K7XX headphones, which are the primary source of audio. He does stream on his spare time, if it isn't obvious already from his streaming gear. We got the ring light right in the center, behind the Logitech G920 webcam, the Rode N1 for the microphone that's hooked up to his Scarlett audio interface, that's also sitting next to his Elgato Stream Deck. That is quite the streaming setup you got there. Cables are managed really good. I can see lots of cables and zip ties in use. By the way, a quick tip for you guys when it comes to cable management. If you're also finding yourselves velcroing or zip tying your cables together, but you don't have any mounting points underneath your desk, you can buy these zip tie mounts on Amazon for cheap and stick them wherever you need mounting points. I'll drop a link to them down below. They come in very handy. He does own an Xbox One S that he keeps on the far left of the setup, but he mostly games on his sick custom water-cooled PC featuring the Ryzen 9 5950X and the Asus TUF RTX 3090. Damn, those are some nice specs you got there. I guess putting the reservoir in the back of the case looks a lot cleaner, but it also looks a bit empty near the bottom, which by the way, has enough space for the reservoir if you place it sideways in case you're wondering. I feel like this setup wouldn't have looked this great if it were up against a white wall. Adding that dark brick wallpaper definitely added to the presentation. And bonus points for hanging a couple of your guitars for a bit of personality. Overall, I think you did a fantastic job putting all of this together. Thank you, Sam, for entering. Wrapping up the episode is Voldemort from Denmark and his beautiful monochrome themed setup. I think this is the first time I'm seeing Nanoleaf panels in white. Isn't that kind of like buying a gaming PC just to do Zoom calls on it? You're not really taking advantage of its full potential. I feel like there are other cheaper alternatives in adding some cool white lighting on your wall, but if you're actually changing the colors from time to time, then never mind. Looks like he went with dual 31-inch 165Hz monitors hooked up to the desk with the HyperX alloy keyboard and Logitech G730 mouse. He's so invested in the color scheme of the setup that even the monitor arms are in white. You gotta love dedication here. The setup is so clean that it doesn't even have speakers. Instead, he uses the Arctis 7 wireless headphones and the Bose QC35s when he's on the move. The only other thing on the desk is the PS4 that's skinned in white vinyl, and on the opposite side we have the custom PC, packing the i5 9600K and the Gigabyte RTX 2070, also in white with some cable extensions. Really nice. The only critique I have with the setup is that the cable sleeve behind the PC is visible, and I'm assuming that some of the cables are too short. That's why it's diagonal like that. I only mention this because you built such a clean setup, and I would hate for that small little oversight to take away from the presentation. The rest of the cables underneath the desk are fine. I have no complaints here, and you even went the extra mile to cover the cable from the TV using a raceway. So I know you have it in you. Just fix that one little cable sleeve behind your PC and you are good to go. But either way, this is such a clean setup. Thank you, Voldemort, for sharing this with us. As a reminder, you guys can always pick up a cheap Windows CD key for less than $15. Just click on my link below and use the code TS20 for an extra 20% off. Once you get your CD key, just visit the activation settings in Windows and change your product key. It's that simple. And that does it for today's episode of Setup Wars. As always, make sure to comment down below on which of these setups was your absolute favorite. And before you guys head out, make sure to check out yourcdkey.com if you want to pick up a Windows key for less than $15. Just make sure to use my code TS20 at checkout to get that 20% off. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I'll see your beautiful, beautiful nose hairs in the next video.